All right, hello and welcome back. So in this video, I want to go over another kind of issue within the Buddhist worldview when it relates to Siddhartha Gautama. So, in these videos, the goal here is not to take an overly critical approach. Like this seems like a guy who had never seen evil and then was trying to come up with a philosophy to explain what this whole evil thing was about. I mean, obviously there is suffering and it is bad. And so this is not to criticize in any way. Now, one of the questionable elements within Buddhism is okay, so you have this gentleman, Siddhartha, or the Buddha, who says, okay, well, there's four noble truths. And so he's philosophizing and he says, well, okay, there's this truth of suffering and the cause of suffering and the end of suffering, and then the path to the sort of permanent end of suffering. So he creates these truths. I mean, okay, sure. And then he creates the eightfold path of living a good life. And it's like, okay, all of that's sort of just a philosophy, and that makes sense. Now, where it starts to become religious is where we need to ground the opinions because, okay, sure, I can have opinions on how to live a good life and be prosperous and be truthful and all this stuff. All right. Well, when he then brings in reincarnation, your soul leaves your body and then comes back as a different body. Now we are talking about metaphysics, which is what happens beyond the physical world, beyond the spiritual world that exists. And so my question is that I feel, and again, if you guys look into this and you get deeper into this, please let me know. Zach, if you've got something, you can let me know. But the question that I have is, I can make observations about the physical world and say, this is my experience and my opinion of the physical world, and we can all do that. But what I don't have the ability to do is to make claims about the metaphysical world without claiming some sort of divine knowledge. And my understanding of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, is that he said, I'm a normal guy, and I'm not God. I'm not some kind of spiritual, he's just enlightened. He's just said, I found a better way. But he's making metaphysical claims that your spirit leaves your body, goes through some sort of mechanism that then re-puts the soul with no memories, by the way, back into a new body. So you don't even get to keep you. You are something different when you are reincarnated and you can't remember your past lives. Okay. On what basis are these claims made? Is he somehow a prophet? Which, not in a biblical sense, but does he have some sort of divine awareness? And if so, what divine awareness does he have? Well, even within his own worldview, he cannot have a divine awareness because you don't remember your past lives. He's clearly not a god from a Buddhist perspective, which might have some higher level awareness because they've been reincarnated and, they have some sort of ability that, mortals, humans do not. He's certainly not in a state of nirvana because he would no longer exist. So there does not seem to be a logical or reasonable basis for his claims, these metaphysical claims of how the soul functions when death occurs. He also does not seem to have any basis outside of the basic logic, which is life equals suffering, therefore non-life equals happiness or nirvana. That is, again, an opinion, and that is an opinion about the metaphysical world, the afterlife, the happy place, quote, quote. And there does not seem to be any reason to assume that what he is saying is true beyond your opinion or my opinion, because he claimed he's just a guy. And so this is another difficult issue. And again, not to speak down of Buddha, seems like a great guy, seems like he's doing what all of us do and trying to make sense of things. And also, he claims he's a normal guy. I'm a normal guy. Why don't I just make something up? Can we trust me? I mean, you're here. You can talk to me. You can ask me about my life. I can tell you reasons why these things happen. Why wouldn't you trust me over Buddha? What makes him more special as a normal person? So that is another issue I see with Buddhism. Zach, you have any thoughts or anything to add in on that one?
I don't too much there. I do think that this ties in again with the overarching grounding issues, right? And so I mean, he's going around seeing pain and suffering. This obviously is one of the things we've talked about before with grounding, even in the moral argument from previous video, talking about why pain and suffering and pain and pleasure do not serve as a very good moral compass, because we have to nail those down as objectively good or bad. You know, taking it back around to tying it into a sharing the gospel message. Well, we don't have to talk about why his observations of pain and suffering from his perspective may or may not have aligned with our worldview. We can talk about how Christ came and suffered on our behalf,
Love it.
and in this way
He gave us his peace because he
gave us his
overcame death.
peace.
Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I love it. Sounds like you're a better apologist to the Buddhists than I am. I'm just addressing the direct facts. Good. I love that coming alongside. Okay. In the next video, we're going to get into maybe some logical grounding issues with suffering. So we will see you there. God bless.